A scream. A whip. A woman with nowhere left to run. That's how the night started. Nobody in that ballroom, not even the woman holding the crop, knew how it would end. The Hale estate looked like something built to remind people they didn't belong there. Chandeliers the size of small cars. 300 guests in tuxedos and gowns worth more than most mortgages. It was the engagement party of the year. Beckett Hale, real estate billionaire, and his soon-to-be wife, Camille Renfro, a woman as beautiful as she was feared. People whispered about Camille behind their champagne glasses. She'd fired a housekeeper once for folding towels the wrong way. Beckett either didn't see it or didn't want to. In the kitchen, a young woman named Talia Reyes moved between trays of champagne flutes, feet aching, hands steady out of pure habit. She'd worked for the Hale family for 8 months, a nursing student paying her way through school one catering shift at a time. She needed this job. Her little brother's heart surgery depended on it. Staff weren't supposed to be noticed. Tonight, that was about to change. It happened near the staircase. Camille, 3 glasses in, was showing off her ring to a circle of admirers when Talia passed with the tray. A slight bump, barely anything. A few drops of red wine landed on the hem of a white gown that cost more than Talia's rent for a year. Nobody else even registered it. Camille did. "Do you have any idea what this dress cost?" Her voice cracked across the room like a whip before the whip ever came out. "I'm so sorry. Let me." Talia's voice shook. Camille wasn't listening. She grabbed an antique riding crop off a display case. Decorative, never meant to be used, and before anyone could move, she brought it down across Talia's back. The music stopped. Someone dropped a glass. Talia stumbled against the wall, pain flashing hot through her shoulder, humiliation burning worse than the welt already rising beneath her uniform. 300 people watched. Not one of them moved. That's when the front doors opened, and Beckett Hale walked into his own home to find his fiancée standing over a young woman with a crop still in her fist. He froze, and what he saw was about to change everything. "Camille." His voice was low, controlled, colder than anyone in that room had ever heard from him. "What did you just do?" She smoothed her dress like nothing had happened. "She ruined my gown. She needs to learn some respect. She's an employee." His jaw tightened. "Not property." Phones came out around the room. Not to help, to record. Spectacle always sells better than sympathy. Beckett crossed the marble floor and knelt beside Talia. Up close, the welt on her exposed shoulder was already an angry red. "Are you okay?" he asked, in a voice none of his guests had ever heard from him. Talia nodded fast, too afraid to speak, too aware that whatever came out of her mouth next could cost her the job her family needed to survive. "Someone call a doctor," Beckett said, standing. "Now." Camille laughed, incredulous. "Are you seriously making a scene over the help?" The word landed like a second slap across the room. "Say that again," Beckett said quietly. Camille, emboldened by champagne and a lifetime of never facing consequences, didn't back down. "You heard me. She's staff. That's what staff is for." Some guests looked away, uncomfortable. Others, raised in the same gilded world as Camille, nodded like this was simply how things worked. Then an old woman near the front rose from her chair, cane in hand, and the entire room fell silent without her saying a word. Josephine Hale was 82, and sharper than every person in that ballroom combined. "Beckett," she said, voice steady. "I think it's time this room learned the truth about how this family really started." She walked to the center of the floor, cane tapping against marble, and for the first time all night, every guest gave her their full attention. 60 years ago, she began, I was a maid. Not a guest at a party like this one. I scrubbed floors in a house very much like it, for a family very much like the one standing in this room tonight. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Camille's face went pale. I was 17, supporting my mother after my father died. One night, much like tonight, I made a small mistake serving dinner. I spilled soup on a woman's dress. Josephine's eyes locked on Camille's, and she struck me, just like you struck this young woman tonight. The room didn't breathe. "The difference," Josephine continued, "is that woman's son saw what his mother did to me. And instead of looking away, instead of pretending it was normal, he stood up. He fired the staff who mistreated me. He paid for my education." Her voice caught, just slightly. "And years later, he married me. That man was Beckett's grandfather." Total silence. The cameras that had been filming for gossip were now capturing something else entirely. This family, Josephine said, turning to face the crowd, was built by two people who understood that dignity has nothing to do with the size of a bank account. Kindness costs nothing. Cruelty costs everything. She looked back at Camille. You just proved, in front of every important person in this city, exactly who you are. The crop slipped from Camille's fingers and hit the marble floor. Beckett stepped forward, not toward the woman he'd proposed to 3 months earlier, but to stand beside his grandmother. Beside Talia. I think, he said quietly, this engagement is over. The ambulance came 20 minutes later, though Talia insisted she didn't need it. The welt hurt. Her pride hurt worse. In a quiet side room, away from the whispering crowd, Beckett sat across from her, elbows on his knees, guilt written across his face. I'm sorry. This should never have happened in my house. It's not your fault, Talia said quietly. You didn't do it. No. But I chose to build a life with someone who could do that without hesitating. That's on me. She studied him for a moment, the exhaustion in his eyes, the anger he was working hard to control. Can I ask you something? Why does this matter to you? I'm nobody. Just staff. Like she said, you're not nobody. His jaw tightened. What happened to you tonight is exactly what my grandparents built this family to stand against. My grandmother was in your position once. Nobody protected her either. Until someone finally did. Talia's eyes filled, not from pain this time, but from something rarer. Being seen. I have a nursing exam in 3 days, she admitted. I was going to work through the pain because I need this paycheck. My little brother has a heart condition. His surgery's scheduled for next month. Every dollar matters. Beckett was quiet for a long moment. Then he pulled a card from his jacket, wrote something on the back, and handed it to her. Call this number tomorrow. It's our family foundation. Your brother's surgery, all of it, covered. Your last semester of nursing school, too. Talia stared at the card, speechless. I can't accept that. I didn't do anything to deserve. You didn't do anything wrong tonight, Beckett said gently. You got hurt in my home by someone I trusted. This isn't charity, Talia. It's what should have happened a long time ago. For the first time all night, she let herself believe this humiliating moment might become the turning point of her life. Neither of them knew yet how far that turning point would go. By morning, clips from the party had exploded online. Not gossip about spilled wine, but raw footage of a wealthy woman striking a maid in front of 300 witnesses, followed by an 82-year-old matriarch silencing an entire ballroom with the truth. #Justice for Talia trended by noon. Camille's own family, humiliated, distanced themselves within hours. Business partners quietly pulled out of deals tied to her name. The broken engagement became the least of her problems. Talia sat in her small apartment, staring at her phone in disbelief as strangers left comments defending her, praising her composure, sharing their own stories of being treated like they were invisible. Her mother reached for her hand across the kitchen table. Baby, are you okay? I don't know, Talia admitted. Yesterday I was scared I'd lose my job. Today people are calling me an inspiration. It's a lot. Her phone buzzed. A text from Beckett. Asterisk, how are you feeling today? No pressure to respond. Just wanted to check in. Asterisk. She smiled faintly and typed back a simple thank you, still processing how fast everything had shifted. Across town, Beckett watched his family's foundation coordinate Talia's brother's surgery with the city's top pediatric cardiologist. But something else weighed on him. A decision he hadn't expected to make so soon after ending an engagement. He kept replaying Talia's face. Not the tears from pain, but the quiet dignity she'd carried while being humiliated in front of strangers. The way she never once blamed him. The way she thought of her brother before herself. It wasn't romantic yet. It was recognition. The same thing his grandfather must have felt 60 years ago, watching a young maid endure cruelty with more grace than the people dishing it out could ever manage. He called his grandmother. I think I finally understand what you meant. About what, dear? Choosing people for their character, not their circumstances. A pause, then a soft, knowing laugh. Took you long enough. Neither of them knew that 3 states away, Camille was about to make one last desperate move, and it would only make everything worse. Camille wasn't used to losing. 3 days after the party, she sat in her lawyer's office, seething, as headline after headline dragged her name through the mud. Asterisk, heiress caught on camera whipping maid. Hail engagement ends in scandal. Asterisk. I want a statement drafted, she snapped. Something about the maid provoking me. Something about staff exaggerating for sympathy. Her lawyer hesitated. Camille, there's footage. Multiple angles. I don't care what you think. I need my reputation back. But a reputation shattered by your own hand doesn't repair itself through denial. Camille released a public statement that evening claiming Talia had provoked her, that the video was taken out of context. It backfired within hours. More footage surfaced, from a guest's phone this time, showing the moments leading up to the strike in painful clarity. No provocation, just an accident, and a woman used to controlling everyone around her. Sponsors for Camille's family's hotel chain distanced themselves publicly. Her closest friends stopped returning her calls. Meanwhile, Talia got a message from a local news producer requesting an interview. She almost said no. Her mother encouraged her. Your story could help someone else who's scared to speak up. You don't have to be angry. Just be honest. The interview aired 2 nights later. Talia spoke calmly, without bitterness, about the assault, about years of being treated as invisible, about her brother's heart condition and her dream of becoming a pediatric nurse, about how one moment of cruelty had accidentally opened a door. It went viral for a completely different reason than the first video. Not outrage, admiration. Beckett watched from his apartment, unable to look away. When it ended, he texted her. Asterisk, you didn't have to do that interview. But I'm glad you did. You told the truth without losing yourself in anger. That's rare, asterisk. Her reply came minutes later. Asterisk, I learned that from watching your grandmother. She didn't yell. She just told the truth, and it was louder than anything else in that room. Asterisk. Neither of them knew that simple exchange was the beginning of something neither expected. Weeks passed. Talia's brother's surgery succeeded, a quiet, private moment far from headlines. Watching Micah open his eyes in recovery, color returning to his face for the first time in years, Talia finally let herself cry. Not from pain, from relief. Beckett visited the hospital that day, quietly, no cameras, carrying a small stuffed bear for Micah. You didn't have to come, Talia said, meeting him in the hallway. I wanted to. How's he doing? Better than we ever hoped. Her voice cracked. Thank you for everything. I still don't know how to repay this. You don't owe me anything, Beckett said firmly. This should have happened months before that party. No one should have to work 3 jobs through nursing school just to keep their family alive. The system failed you long before Camille did. Talia studied him. You've changed since that night. He gave a quiet, almost embarrassed laugh. I think I finally started paying attention to things I used to overlook. My grandmother always said wealth reveals character. It doesn't build it. I forgot that for a while. Over the following weeks, something shifted between them, slowly, naturally. Coffee after her hospital shifts. Quiet conversations about family, dreams, the kind of life neither had expected to find. Nothing rushed, nothing dramatic. Just steady, honest, built on something far more solid than the world Camille represented. Camille's life kept unraveling. Her family quietly cut ties with anything bearing her name. She left the city entirely, away from the whispers that followed her everywhere. No explosive Hollywood downfall, just something quieter, and in some ways worse. Irrelevance. The world simply moved on without her. Josephine watched the change in her grandson with quiet satisfaction. She never said I told you so. She didn't need to. The proof was in the hospitals Beckett visited instead of galas. In the scholarship fund, he quietly started for working students like Talia. In the way he'd finally learned to see people instead of positions. Even Josephine didn't anticipate what would happen 6 months later. 6 months after the party that changed everything, the Hale Foundation hosted its annual charity gala. It looked nothing like the extravagant, hollow event from before. Instead of an exclusive guest list of the city's wealthiest families, the room was filled with nursing students, hospital staff, single parents working multiple jobs, and community organizers who never got recognized for anything. Josephine had insisted on the change. Beckett had agreed without hesitation. Talia stood near the entrance in a simple emerald dress, smoothing the fabric with nervous hands. She had just finished her final nursing exam. Micah was healthy, running around a hospital hallway like the surgery had never happened. And somewhere in that room, Beckett was watching her the way his grandfather must have watched a 17-year-old made 60 years earlier, not as someone beneath him, but as the exact kind of person his family's entire fortune was supposed to protect. A room that once measured people by the size of their bank accounts was now, finally, measuring them by something that had always mattered more. Camille's dress had cost $5,000. It bought her nothing that lasted. Talia's uniform had cost her almost nothing. And it was the reason she was standing in that ballroom at all, not as staff this time, but as the person the whole night was actually about. Some stains never wash out. Some don't need to.
If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Dave's Stories for more inspiring stories.